Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Science of Mass Effect Andromeda. Last episode we wandered around the Nexus a bit more, met the remaining members of the leadership, so we have a full-person leadership, with the person in charge being somewhat stereotypically a kind of charismaless bureaucratic accountant. Seems rather ill-suited for the position, but is desperately trying to hang on to power. We have a volunteer militia who kind of sprung up, and their leader is basically getting political power for himself. We have a Krogan, whereas the Director General is vehemently bigoted against Krogans. And we have a colonial overseer who has no colonies to oversee, and never wanted the job in the first place. So, a huge recipe for all kinds of fun stuff to happen, and basically I think we can all start the countdown for the next mutiny. But in the meantime, we as Pathfinder have been tasked to go make sure the colony on Eos becomes viable. So I guess we better get to that and hope that we can create something that will be viable enough to deal with the inevitable meltdown that's going to happen here on the Nexus. Hopefully only in the metaphorical sense and not in the actual sense of the Nexus's power plants melting down. However, before we do that, let's go talk to this person here. Seems like they might need our help.
Hey, you okay?
I'm fine. My arms got the brunt of it.
Stuff exploding like this happen often?
Back right after the mutiny, we had a lot of this happening. But not lately.
I wasn't there during the mutiny.
Lucky. I thought we were done with this, honestly. That maybe I was just being paranoid.
It's paranoia if they're actually out to get you.
What is there to be paranoid about?
We've had 3 malfunctions in the past week.
That's not good. Sorry, understatement.
Yeah. And now I have more repairs.
Yeah, 3 more. But yeah, because I mean, you've made this to last, then 3 malfunctions a week doesn't sound good. Of course, with all the scourge damage, one wonders if it's really paranoia.
Did you talk to security about this?
How can I? For all I know, someone in security is the one doing this. I've scanned all the potential sabotage areas I can think of, but I don't know who to trust anymore.
Sounds like a lot went down before the Hyperion docked.
Yeah, I guess. Wait, that's it. You can't possibly be involved in this. You weren't even here during the mutiny. Would you, if you have time? Maybe you could help me, if they start hitting critical systems.
It's interesting that only at that point does he realize that I'm a stranger you can trust. Right before that, he's just divulged all this information to me. Random stranger. And okay, let's help out. Sounds a good idea.
What can I do?
If you could scan these other panels while I fix this one, that'd really help. I've sent the locations to your Omni tool. Just send me the data when you're done. No, I'm fine.
So,
It just blew up.
also interestingly,
Be careful.
this seems to be a person not just of Indian descent, but who actually perhaps comes from India, although we're not entirely sure. Because although previous Mass Effect games had a lot of the diversity in terms of ethnicity and race,
Too small for lizards.
You'd be surprised. There's also Birdvine in the seed bank.
Nobody's making creeper in Andromeda.
You'd be surprised.
I would say yes. So there's a lot of diversity in terms of ethnicity and race, or at least there's some diversity. I'll let other people who are more qualified to comment on how well that's done. But in terms of let's say country origin, right? Everybody you speak to seems to come from English-speaking countries, and more specifically from the US and from England, or possibly Canada, or from off-world colonies, right? But you don't ever really meet anybody from France or from Germany or from anywhere in Africa or anywhere in Asia, right? I mean, unless some huge catastrophe happens, India and China at the moment are about together form 1/3 of the world's population. We can assume they will do that in future as well. So you'd expect 1/3 of any human vessel to be Indian or Chinese, right? Ooh, explosion sites. I think we've got Sam to help us scan all that. And then we need to go talk to Liam, I think. Here's stuff about people making drugs, it doesn't sound good. You also kind of see it in Mass Effect 3, where the main locations for the systems lines are Vancouver and London. Of course, Vancouver seems to be where the headquarters are of the Navy.
To cover their tracks, the saboteur is overloading power to this panel from another junction relay. You can scan and trace the connective wiring to locate the surrogate panel.
Whereas if you have a space-related organization, it makes much more sense to put your headquarters on the equator, because it takes much less energy to launch things into orbit from the equator. Mass Effect makes it a bit of a mute point.
Scanning power junction relays. This panel is malfunctioning. Without more data, I cannot determine if this is a normal malfunction or sabotage.
I'll just disable power to the panel until Raj can check it out.
And the reason for that is people think going into space takes a lot of energy because you have to get up, but actually what takes energy is not getting up but going fast, right? To maintain an orbit, you basically have to fall around the Earth at such a rate that you miss the Earth. So you fall but also go forwards, so that your path curves around and matches the curvature of the Earth. And then you kind of always miss the ground and keep flying, as we know from the Hitchhiker's Guide. So yeah, well, if you want to get into orbit, you basically have to accelerate up to the correct speed to make your path circular, rather than not circular and hitting the ground. And if you launch in the same direction as the Earth is turning, you kind of use the speed of the Earth rotating to boost you up to that orbital speed. And what's the director doing in our headquarters? Anyway, yeah, so you use Earth's speed to boost you, and if you're at the equator, the effective speed is higher, right? Because at the equator you're further away from the center of the Earth, so for the same velocity in terms of degrees per second, you have a higher velocity in terms of speed per second, of distance per second. Or in other words, your linear speed is higher for the same rotational speed. And that's why launching from the equator or as close to the equator as you can get makes sense.
Scan and trace the wiring to locate the panel that the saboteur used.
And so that's where you would, if you have a truly global government, somewhere on the equator would make sense to headquarter their space operations.
Pathfinder, I received the data from Sam. It really is sabotage.
Any idea as to who it might be?
Yeah. All these panels were worked on by Zara. I just can't believe it.
Security video logs confirm that Zara Kellis worked on these panels, as well as the one Raj Patil encountered.
Well, shit. Any idea where she is now?
Kellis is currently working on a panel on the Hyperion main deck.
Right, well, guess we better go do something about that. Do you mean waypoint? Oh, we don't have a waypoint. Go away. Oh, Sam is also wants us to visit an Hyperion, so let's just talk to Liam first. Kind of wrap up things in this area before I go back to the Hyperion.
Pathfinder, no time for our beer yet. This place is a mess. Security is, let's call it strained.
I can believe it. The Nexus is running on empty.
Not just that. A lot of the exiles were security. Everyone was trained and armed for Frontier. We know Ket are dangerous, and now we have to worry about our people too. No idea where they went, but they left mad.
So, this is kind of strange. On the one hand, we're being told, you know, the mission of Andromeda Initiative's peace and the peaceful relations, so people weren't really prepared or armed. On the other hand, people were armed and prepared for Frontier. Anyway, let's not write them off, you never know.
They were frustrated. If they just wanted to kill, they could have fought to the last here.
Apparently we're the big hope for everyone. Not the Hyperion showing. Just us. I'm with you. It's just
Yep.
a lot.
This wasn't in the job description. We have to find a world, then save it.
Glad it's not just me feeling it. But it's not just you either. We're a team, right? It's what they need us to be.
That sounds good, Liam. We can be team.
Pathfinder, I'm feeling less bad about missing a year of this. Everyone's beaten down. Nothing to do but watch the reserve shrink.
And now all eyes are on us.
All I know is, we have to fix it.
Right on. Well, of course, you know, we are the video game protagonist in the this role-playing game. This is kind of very chosen one-ish, right? But what's so special about Ryder that he can save everyone if whole teams of people are available here and they can't do anything?
Hey there.
You okay? Those guys really grilled you.
Hardly.
And Addison. First Pathfinder they've seen in over a year. All she can do is question your competence?
Yeah, reaction is understandable. Which one's Addison?
She understands the stakes. If I fail,
You won't.
let's hope not.
You won't. That's the end of it. I worked out logistics with Director Tan. They're giving us a ship and crew. He said their best is taking care of it.
I still need to head back to the Ark and check in with Sam.
Sounds good. While you're there, maybe see how your sister's doing.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So let us away back to Hyperion. Straight away we can confront the servitor. It's good. Wow, I mean, I know security is an issue, but we have... I suppose you never know when the cat might show up, but people walking around with assault rifles like that seems slightly weird. In the Mass Effect universe, does seem to be quite a lawless one, right? Or especially in the areas we visit in the game. You know, pirate raids and that. Where it's basically just up to people to defend themselves, not to count on the government aid. Certainly not to get there in time. Quite common. Which I suppose kind of helps to give more room for adventure, right? But
Stasis revival team should hold and await further instructions.
Wonder why the Citadel can't get their act together and run things a bit better.
We're in a holding pattern. Word is that the Nexus doesn't have enough room.
But they've been here for like a year, haven't they?
Yeah, I guess it didn't go so well.
Kind of pretty atrium they got going on here. Pretty view as well. Anyway, you and we need to have chat list. Oh, someone else can chat to as well.
Pathfinder, it's good to see you. Word is there's been trouble on the station.
That's good better.
We're here now. It'll get better.
That's what I've been telling people. You're here now. As soon as we establish outposts, everything will even out. I'm sure of it.
Okay.
How do you feel about all this now that we're here?
Hopeful. I know it's a rose-colored outlook, but someone's got to keep the positivity coming, right?
Fair enough.
Why did you join the initiative?
The most popular question on the station. Honestly, I wouldn't have known about this project if Nozomi hadn't reached out to me.
Nozomi?
Captain Dunn. Of all the captains I've piloted for, she's the best. I've always been a wanderer at heart. When she asked me to be her pilot, how could I say no to the adventure of a lifetime?
What about your family?
I'm an orphan. My parents died on the Mindoir colony when it was attacked years ago. No siblings. I left some friends and distant relatives behind, but I have friends here too. I love piloting, but I like the idea of going back to my roots and farming like my parents did. Someday.
Have to go now. See you later.
You be careful out there.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, not too strong connections to leave behind.
Zara Kellis,
Yes?
I have evidence you've been sabotaging the Nexus.
What? No, I'd never... I've been looking into this myself. I have the scans to prove it. Here, I'll transfer the scans I took to your Omnitool.
Funny. Raj was investigating the same thing, and it led us to you.
My scans point at Raj as the one. So unless someone was setting us both up, I just don't understand.
The data Miss Kellis has accumulated is strangely similar to Mr. Pattle's. A third party seems likely.
Looks like someone is using both you and Raj to cover their tracks.
They need pretty high-level access for that. Still, it's better than thinking Raj could have done this. But it means all the data I have is useless. Wish I had access to the security cams. I bet we could find something there.
You stay put, so whoever did this doesn't realize we're onto them. I'll check out the security cams. Raj, you there?
Yes. How did it go? Is it really her?
Nope.
Wasn't her. She had proof pointing at you. I figure someone's been messing with you both. Just keep a low profile and don't talk to anyone. I'm on it.
Let's go look at security footage. I guess we have to go back to the Hyperion for that. To the Nexus. Yep. Well, guess we're not gonna get a ship in this episode. Always like clearing out side quests before advancing the story. So, fair warning, it's going to take a while to get through this game.
Disembarkation procedures from Hyperion are on hold.
This file is useless.
Await further instructions.
Let's check another.
Things
And
corrupted.
another scrambled file.
Coincidence seems unlikely.
Let's check another. This file is also corrupted. Definitely not a coincidence. You'd need pretty high clearance to mess with the security camera files. Someone working for Kandros, maybe.
That is the most probable scenario.
Think you can get enough out of the files to find a match using biometric scans, Sam?
The files were badly scrambled, but if I combine all the available identifiers, it might work. Based on the limited information available, we are looking for a human male, assigned either to the Nexus or Hyperion. You will need to conduct scans from close proximity.
Got it.
So that's like only 500 people or so.
Engineering reports. Hyperion power draw is now at 100%.
And also basically doing the grunt work of detecting, which is the
Biometrics do not match.
data collection and not the actual analysis and thinking part.
Engineering up. We are working on accessing the Hyperion. All non-relevant repair requests are currently on hold.
Also kind of scary that all these security cameras are
Inaccurate match.
collecting all kinds of biometric data as well.
Disembarkation procedures for Hyperion are on hold. Please await further instructions.
Oh, back to Hyperion, I guess.
Disembarkation procedures for Hyperion are on hold. Please await further instructions.
Inaccurate match.
Oh, and tampering with the panel too, eh?
Scan results show a partial positive. Target is most likely suspect.
Dale
Should we
Atkins, right? We need to talk.
Look, not to be rude, but I have work to do.
We know what you've been up to. You're done here.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just doing my job, that's all.
Proof says you've been up to no good.
Figures. Screw this. Screw all you hypocrites on this station. You weren't here when they kicked out our loved ones. Mutiny? We just wanted answers. My sister is out there. I don't even know if she's alive or...
That's sad, but how does blowing up panels help?
I'm sorry for what happened, but setting explosives isn't the answer.
Neither was sending people into exile because they didn't agree with policy. I don't care what you think. The mutiny leaders were right to demand to know what was going on.
You could have hurt people, killed them.
Like those who got killed when the leadership had the Krogan stomp on my friends? I'm done talking. I confess, it was me. Do whatever you want.
Dude, what the heck were you trying to accomplish? I mean, really. So, you know, if I say not up to me, who is it up to? Am I gonna kind of test my... Yeah, Chan was trying to go authority on me. You know what? I'm gonna test the limits of my Pathfinder authority bits.
We can't let you stay on board. There's no saying what else you're capable of.
Wait, you'd let me go?
If you call exile letting you go, sure. You leave and you don't come back.
I'll leave.
Ooh, I got 73 Andromeda viability points. Guess we should stop the sabotage. I do wonder where exactly he's going to go. I mean, okay, the exile's left somewhere, and more importantly, how he's going to get there. Right? Are we also like giving him a shuttle? Because that would seem like a not so good idea. Anyway, I think it's also time to call an end to this episode. It's probably gone on long enough. So thank you for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed a little detective hunt through the station, and that you will join me next time for more Science of Mass Effect Andromeda. So long and goodbye.